back to my channel. My name is Hulda Cunningham and this is another episode of a Jamaican Alzheimer's story. Now before I go into this week's episode, I would love to first wish a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, whether you're a biological mother or you take care of children, your relatives, your nieces and nephews. Happy Mother's Day to you. I hope you have a wonderful day, a restful day, and I hope at the end of today you will be feeling rejuvenated and ready to take on a new week. Now, this week we will be continuing our focus on caregivers. In this episode, we're going to be talking about some of the mistakes that I have made, some of you have made, some of you are still making as caregivers. Now, as I shared earlier, being a caregiver takes a lot of patience. Patience that you don't even realize that you possess. And sometimes when we lose our patience, we tend to make some mistakes that will have negative effects on the person's relatives, patients for whom we are caring. Now, there are times, and this is going to be the first one I'm mentioning, there are times when our loved ones or patients say things that may not be true, and we tend to think that they are lying, and in our impatience we call them liars, and that can have a really negative effect on them. It can also be a trigger to cause a conflict. Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, that Alzheimer's patients are persons whose brains are progressively deteriorating, and there are times when they may say things that they don't even realize that they're saying. For example, they may say, I haven't eaten all morning, when you are the one who gave them breakfast. Or they may say, no one has given me anything to eat all day. And that can be very irritating to you, the caregiver, who knows that you have fed them. Sometimes they may say things like, I am feeling so sick, and you know that nothing is wrong. But guess what? Just play the game and continue the conversation. And you may say, really? Nobody has given you anything to eat all day? How could they have done that? And if you respond in that kind of way, it will not create a conflict. It will not trigger their irritability. It will just maintain the conversation to be very calm. If they say, I'm feeling so sick, ask, where's the pain? Sometimes when my mother would share that she's feeling pain and I say, where's the pain? She said, I'm not feeling any pain. Sometimes their brain just tells them to say things and they don't even realize that they're saying it. So instead of saying, why are you telling a lie? And I gave you breakfast and lunch this morning. Just try to engage them in such a way that it does not trigger any irritable reaction on their part. Another thing we sometimes do as caregivers is to force them to do things that they find difficult. For example, brushing their teeth, and you may say to your loved one, grandfather, mother, your patient, whomever, go and brush your teeth, man. You have had breakfast already. And the person may say, brush my teeth? I don't know how to do that. And you may think that they are being cheeky. Bear in mind that the brain controls all decisions, all actions, all movement. And it could be that the section of the brain that tells them how to brush their teeth may just be malfunctioning. It could be that that section of the brain may not have been working at that time. It could be that that section of the brain is completely gone. So if the person say, I don't know how to brush my teeth, I don't know how to tie my lace, I don't know how to take a bath, it is your responsibility as the caregiver to show them. So you can just put the toothpaste on. Maybe you will end up having to brush their teeth. Maybe you'll end up having to give them a bath. Sometimes they'll go in the shower, just splash some water on the body, and they come out and they say that they have taken a bath. Bear in mind that we are dealing with persons whose brains are deteriorating and may not be alert enough to respond to the task that you're giving them at the time. Another thing that sometimes we tend to do when we are frustrated as caregivers is to get angry and shout at our loved ones or our patients. And when you get angry and shout at them, it causes them to be very scared and fearful, because guess what? They don't realize that what they're doing is wrong. They don't therefore understand why you are getting angry, why you are shouting at them. And sometimes that just shouting at them can cause them to cry because they're now in a state of confusion. Why are you shouting? I didn't do anything. Because within a split second, the action that they did or displayed to trigger your anger is gone from their memory. And we as caregivers have to constantly bear in mind that the brain is not alert, that the brain is deteriorating. Let me tell you why sometimes we make those mistakes as caregivers. Sometimes they're alert. I can tell you, in the mornings, there are times when my mother is very alert. She can maintain a very excellent conversation, very intellectual conversation, and we'll be doing fine, and she'll be communicating with me, and she's extremely alert and lucid. And then by the next second, she's a different person. So we have to bear in mind that their moods and the alertness of their brain varies, and sometimes they are quite alert and well, and other times they are not. One of the other things that we tend to make mistakes with, which will be my last on the list for today, is that we sometimes force them to remember themselves, to remember other people, to remember places and events, to remember our names. Mommy, you may say, what is my name? And she may say, Mommy, am I your mother? I don't know you. And because you are so distraught, you are trying to force her or him to remember you. And all that does is it causes extreme frustration and irritability on their part, and then add to your frustration. So let me advise you, if they call you a name that is far from who you are, just continue to maintain the conversation. If they call you mommy, continue to maintain the conversation. Remember, they are living in a different mental space. So my encouragement is that you just try to compromise in cases like those. Don't say they're liars. Don't force them to do what they cannot do, and don't force them to remember you. Don't force them to remember visitors who come by. Just encourage them, work with them, and also do your best to be as supportive as possible in any conversation they're having. Just work with them, work with the flow. and you will find that it will create less conflicts because it will trigger them less. And so I want to thank you once more for sharing in my Alzheimer's story. Remember to share, like, and subscribe, and I do hope that these little tips will help those of you who are still caring for your loved ones. And I want to applaud you and wish you all the best as you continue your journey.